Hi, everybody. It is Kathy, and I love to be selling. Come on in, sellers. Check in with me. Let me know that you can hear me. Let me know about your weather, just so I know that you're right here. A little chilly today in New York, but we're doing well. This is going to be a very detailed video with a lot of information for you. I encourage you to grab pen and paper. It also is being taped, so you will be able to listen to it afterwards. And I've got a ton of notes right next to me, and I've got everything printed out because of the fact that this is important information. It's detailed information, and it's about the eBay site issues. And I'm going to take you to exactly where I'm getting my information, because that's important for you so that you can make decisions for your business. While you're settling in, I'm Kathy Terrill. I'm a top-rated seller on eBay. I'm selling on eBay for over 12 years. I help eBay sellers scale and grow their business. I work with sellers of all sizes. I am an eBay influencer. I have spoken with eBay teams around the nation over the years. I've also been a small business expert on television. And I sold on QVC for over 6 years before coming to eBay. I have extensive retail experience over 25 years. And I take all that and I blend it together to give you absolutely the best, the most accurate, impactful information to help you with your eBay business. So come on in. What we're going to be talking about, if you're not aware of it, is as of October 15th, eBay was updating their item specifics. And in updating the item specifics and in adding some mandated item specifics, say that one quickly, a lot of issues happened on the site. With the issues, what's happened is there's an enormous amount of misinformation. Some sellers, of course, none of you, really, I don't even know how to say this politely, but just really say the most off-the-wall things. I think that's a nice way to say it, that are just completely inaccurate. And the other thing that is challenging, and this is certainly true of eBay or any site, is that almost daily there's something going on. I mean, this happens on Amazon. If you're not in any Amazon forums, join some and you get to listen to Amazon sellers. This happens on Poshmark, Mercari, all sites. So what happens is that when you do have a site issue like what's going on right now, people don't know if the day-to-day site things that can come up, like with printing shipping labels and things like that, are a part of this or not. So what I'm going to be sticking to is just the item specific situation, because it helps us to stay focused and to give you absolutely accurate information about the item specific situation so that you can decide what to do for yourself. I really encourage you, and I know this is very upsetting, because it hurts when we lose sales. It hurts when our businesses are impacted. It also hurts when we don't know who to turn to for accurate information. So that's what I want to help you with so that you can be reassured. I'm going to show you exactly where I get my information from, and then you can choose what you choose to do. I also encourage you to listen to people that are proactive, that are going to help you to make positive decisions about your business and not just scream and yell. I know this is frustrating. I know this hurts. I totally get it. In fact, I'm going to talk about something else that's happened in the past that some sellers might remember. You know, scream, yell, do what you need to do. But if you think about all that energy that's going into screaming and yelling and then telling each other, oh, blah, 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 I can be taking that and I can be making proactive choices that are going to help my sales. And that's what I'm looking for. I want to ignite my eBay sales. Yes, I'm upset. Yes, I'm frustrated. But more important than that, my family and myself, I need the sales. You need the sales. And that's what we're going to be focusing on. And this is October 26th. I like to date my information. And let me just see everybody, make sure you guys are all here. Yeah. Dale, always good to see you from Florida. Hi, Melissa. Thank you for joining me. Josh, good to see you. Alabama. Helen, yay, New Yorker. Good, you guys. So come on in. So Bev, Jill, thanks everybody for joining. Let me just park this over here so I can keep an eye on you guys. So first thing to do, let me just see you guys. We're going to head over to the eBay for Business Facebook page. And I encourage you to go there. If for some reason you are not a Facebook person, then you're going to be wanting to head over to the eBay community page on the eBay site. But let me show you the eBay for Business page. if you are not aware of it. And it's right on Facebook. It is eBay's page to speak to sellers. So here we are, eBay for Business. Okay. Okay, and I've got to say, anybody else know? I'm sure it's my sense of humor, but I do find it interesting that the header on the eBay for Business page this month is "Let's explore the perfect listing." But I just saying that, letting that go. So right here, and you'll see it's their pinned post. If it's a pinned post, it has this push pin on it, and it's giving you the up-to-date information on the item specifics issue. And this is just about item specifics. Okay, that's all I'm going to talk about. So they're giving you the update, you click it, and this is for eBay US, by the way. So I believe eBay US and eBay Canada can access this site. Okay, if you're non-US, you're going to have to talk to your US friends and get them to send you screenshots. But I'm going to go through it with you. So this is the updates in case you haven't gone through this. And I do encourage you, I know at times people they're like, oh, well, Dale, you tell me what's in the update. You know, Jill, you tell me what's in the update. I really encourage you to read the update and read the information from eBay. And the reason I encourage you to do this is I'll go in and out of various selling groups and people post things and it's wrong. I mean, it's completely wrong. And very simply, if I just went to the eBay for Business page and I read the updates they're putting out, I would know what's going on. So here we go. It is very technical. It is long. You know, grab a cup of coffee or tea. So they talk about the technical issues. They talk about the rollout. And what they're saying is for the existing listings, if you already have listings up, that they will be migrating the information. However, this is what I wanted to say. And eBay has consistently said that we will be migrating the information. However, and this is on my notes, emails, is they are not giving an end date of when this site issue is going to be fixed. Now, right now, they're claiming that the sizes should show for search. At the beginning, when it first rolled out, it was not showing in the left navigation bar, which is the left-hand side if you're on a computer, and that was fixed almost within 24 hours. What's happening is with the fact that they are changing the item-specific format, and they also changed the requirements all at the same time, which is how all this got going, is that when you go to click revise on your older listings, you're going to see an empty size box. And what eBay's saying is we still know what the size is, and we will be migrating the information. Okay. However, a lot of sellers in the fashion category particularly are experiencing really slow sales. And what I wanted to say too, and while we're here, actually I'll get to it in just a second. My brain's bouncing around. So if you are a seller and you're experiencing very slow sales, particularly those in the clothing fashion category, which seems to have been the hardest hit. Yes, toys has been hit. Yes, home and garden. But if you are a clothing seller and you're experiencing slow sales, what I am going to encourage you to do is, and I've done this, not with all my listings yet, is take your higher price items and edit them and start putting in, because you're going to notice there's a lot more item specifics now. Start putting in the newer item specifics and double check the size. And if it's empty in the box, fill it in. Because bottom line is your sales are slow. It cannot hurt you to revise your items and to add these more detailed item specifics to help you in search. Now, one thing I did want to say, because again, being in various groups with sellers, there are people that are jumping in and talking about slow sales. Now, some sellers have really seen a huge drop in sales since October 15th. And it's important to keep that date in mind because that's when this change happened. If you were having slow sales in September or slow sales in August, it is not because of this. If you've had slow sales for the past 3 or 4 months, you need to look at what you're selling, you need to check solds, and you really need to look at the inventory selection that you're making. It may have been something that sold even 5 or 6 months ago, and it's just not in demand anymore. That can be a very hard thing to look at, but it needs to be looked at. If you're finding your sales are going down over time, You really need to take a look at your inventory selection. Okay, so that put aside. So let's say you're not one of those people. Let's say, Kathy, I had really strong sales during back to school and all through September. Really, my sales have slowed down since October 15th. Good. Then what I'm going to suggest is, yes, we can wait for eBay to migrate the size information over, which they say they're in the process of doing, but they're not telling me when it's going to be done. In fact, I specifically asked in my messages saying, you know, is there an end date like October 30th, November 1st, November 5th? There isn't. So for myself, what I'm going to do, and I realize I can hear the screaming already, and I know this is a ton of work, is I'm going through with my more expensive items first, and I am going through and I am editing the item specifics, okay? And they're saying here, they're going through all of this, explaining about what it looked like before, and I'm going to show this to you. So before, you would see this, the size thing would show here, before here. Now after, it's showing required, and this is where you fill it in. And eBay, thank you for putting up the images because it really helps. Again, text is great, but images really help. And then after, there's an additional size field that no longer needs to be filled in, and you can click remove on it. I'm seeing if, yeah, see here on feature graphics, they show it. You can click remove if it's something that doesn't apply. And if it says size, I'm going to show you this here. This one's required. This is a required field if it has a little red star next to it. But if it doesn't, see up here, it says remove, I can remove that. So then the size is just in the one position. So while you're going through and doing your item specifics, you can do that. Put it in the required area, which has a little red dot. When you're doing that, you can remove it, or you can leave it in both places. eBay will eventually be removing that, okay? But that is my tip for you. If your sales are strong, I would sit tight. Why add more work to yourself? I'm going to have some ideas for you to increase your sales even more. But why, you know what I mean? But for people where their sales have really flatlined, absolutely, I would go in and start clicking revise and do it. Okay? Action, see, and this is what they say. You don't need to take any action. The issue did not impact your ability to list your item with relevant item specific values. That was because at the beginning, when it first happened, some people, when they went in to click revise or to do a new listing, were getting blocked because of this issue. And that should not be going on. If you're getting blocked to revise an item or to list an item, and you think it has something to do with this, definitely screenshot it and send it over to eBay for Business. And I'm going to show you eBay for Business again. This is them. And if you don't know it, the people that answer eBay for Business messages are very high level US customer service. They also sign their messages, which I like. And you can just click send message and send them a message. Okay. So next thing I wanted to show you, also on the eBay for Business page, just keep scrolling down, that's New York City Sirens, is this eBay for Business live video from October 22nd. And it was with Steve, who is part of the structured data team. And one thing he said, and I'm going to grab my notes, was there was 5 categories within fashion that were hit with this left navigation issue, where the size was not showing for these 5 categories. And they didn't mention what the 5 categories were, so I emailed to ask, what are the 5 categories? So here they are. Grab your pen and paper. Women's dresses, women's pants, women's jeans, men's pants, men's jeans. And it doesn't mean that other categories may not have been impacted, but those 5 in particular with the left navigation issue, again, women's dresses, women's pants, women's jeans, men's pants, men's jeans. So particularly if I was in those 5 categories, and that now has been fixed, so that's now in the left nav, but particularly if I was in those 5 categories, I would definitely take a look and do some bulk editing and add those item specifics in, okay? Now, this is what I want to talk about is, okay, things happen. Is this fun? It is not fun. And there are a lot of sellers that are really in pain, and I totally get it. And one thing I wanted to bring up is, how do I say this, is for a lot of sellers, they feel that these issues have impacted their ability to have their items found in search. And I'm not here to debate that. If you've experienced slower sales, you're experiencing slower sales. That is a truth. eBay's going to say what they're going to say. You can look at your dashboard and you can see what's going on with your sales. If you were not around in 2014, you will remember, or if you were in 2014, you're going to remember this. And if you're not, you can Google this. eBay experienced what was called the Google Panda Smackdown. Google it. Google eBay Panda search, and you should get it. And if you just Google eBay Panda, by the way, because I did that, you get lots of cute t-shirts on eBay. And what happened was Google's algorithm, which was called Panda at the time, dramatically changed. And when it dramatically changed, the articles that I was reading, something like 80% of eBay literally just wasn't getting indexed correctly by Google. And eBay suffered from this Google Panda Smackdown for months. You know, eBay had to do a lot of changing. eBay was dialoguing with Google, and there were a lot of things going on. But how it impacted sellers were a lot of sellers' sales really tanked because all of a sudden eBay wasn't ranking well in Google. I mean, you can imagine what would happen. So for myself, because I did get impacted by the Google Panda Smackdown, was I resolved, I feel like Scarlett O'Hara with Gone with the Wind, I'll never be hungry again. My resolution was I am not gonna rely just on eBay for my search results. I am gonna be proactive. And the things that I did was, one, I expanded to other platforms, and certainly that's something to do. If you're a new eBay seller, I don't recommend that. You really need to learn eBay. So just hang in there and keep listing. If you are an experienced seller, I do encourage you to go onto other platforms. That's step one. Step two is do social media. The reason I know Facebook business pages and Pinterest and Instagram as well as I do was years ago, I said, that's it. I am going to learn how to generate search results for my listings. Yes, I'm going to learn eBay search, and I've studied it hard, and I continue to study it. You know me, I'm always learning about eBay search and sharing with you. But the other thing is I am going to learn social media, and I am going to learn how to drive traffic to my eBay items with social media. Now, I realize this is work. I realize there's lots of sellers that think, you know what, I just want to list and eBay should get me traffic, and eBay will get you traffic. They totally will. Just like Amazon will, Poshmark, Mercari, and you can do that. It depends on how you want to run your business. On all the platforms that I sell on, I also do social media. I want more traffic. I want a better sell-through rate. And in fact, one of the things when I emailed my senior staffer was, I said, I had a bunch of questions, and then I said, well, what about social media? And they said, yes, absolutely, to do social media to drive traffic. And you go, why? And I will tell you why. So let's say there is something going on, right? Let's say perhaps, and I don't know, my sales have stayed strong, by the way. So the things that I'm sharing with you are things that I've done for my business and for my clients' business. My sales have stayed strong. My sales are very good right now. I'm actually up over last year. So is that I do social media regularly. Social media helps your items in Google, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, because Google search likes social media. And this is what I want to help you guys with. You have social sharing buttons on your eBay items. What I'm going to suggest is do a Facebook business page. If you have one, start using it. You need to be regular. Just like listing regularly on eBay is going to help you, posting on social media regularly is going to help you. It does not need to be a big time suck. I go into this a lot in my membership group, Social Media Insider. I need to know my eBay rules, just like I need to know Amazon or Poshmark, wherever most of my money is coming from. And then I do my social media to drive traffic to my items. The internet is not what it was 10 years ago. It's not what it was when eBay was auction web. It's not what it was when we had 99-cent auctions. Remember that? And cash in the mail in envelopes. It is not. It has changed. And again, yes, I can totally rely on eBay for search. I can totally rely on eBay to get me traffic, or I can invest 5 or 10 minutes a day to help my items to get search rankings on the internet. So if there's something going on a site, whether it's eBay, Amazon, wherever, I still get traffic. I still get search results because of the fact that my items are out in social media and getting found. So this is what I want to show you. So hang on, I'm going to share this with you. So we're going back over here, and you're going to go on my website, ilovetobeselling.com, and you're going to go to free tips, and you're going to go to power tips for your Facebook business page. And this is what I want to share with you. You don't even need to share every day on your Facebook business page. You can do it a couple times a week. Again, it's like eBay. If you can share every day, great. This is a freebie guide. Grab it. Sales power tips for your Facebook business page. And you want this. Going into fourth quarter, you want to help your items to stand out. Yes, there's enormous traffic that comes onto eBay. And yes, eBay does a great job once all these site issues get dealt with. But even without that, because a lot of sellers, their sales are very strong right now. So it's like, okay, how do I get my sales strong? Again, if you're flatlining, go in there and start editing your item specifics. After that, start doing some social media. You can do 5 minutes a day. The social sharing that goes on in groups is great. There are Facebook groups where people are sharing their items. That's great. But you also want to be sharing social content. Good morning. And I have ideas for you in the sales power tips for your Facebook business page. Again, what's going on right now on eBay is very scary for some sellers because their sales are really down. Be honest, if your sales were down over the summer and the early fall, yes, the site issues could be making the situation worse, and or you really need to take a look at your inventory selection and your prices. Okay. If your sales are strong, great. Keep doing what you're doing. If you have a Facebook business page, consider kicking it up because going into fourth quarter, you're going to want it. You're going to want all the traffic you can get, and it helps you to stand out. If your sales are a little flat, you're going to be doing the bulk editing, changing your item specifics. Also, there's a lot of new item specifics. Take a look at them and see what can help you, and get busy with a Facebook business page. You can do it in a couple minutes a day. It is free. It costs you nothing. It is best to use a business page and not to use your personal profile. And you'll see too, when you set up a business page and you're using it, it gives you a lot of data, which can be really, really helpful to you to know who your customers are, what kind of things they like. So you're definitely going to want to do it. So for right now, the site issues are there. They are real. They are impacting some sellers more than others. eBay is not giving us an end date of when it is going to be fixed. They are saying that the size issues for some are going to be, it'll be fixed automatically, and that you can wait for them to fix it. If you don't want to wait because your sales are slow, absolutely go in and start bulk editing and changing your item specifics now. And that is what I am doing. I've already done it to about a third of my listings. I'm going to go in and do it for the rest. And again, the impacted categories. If you're not in the categories that had the change and it showed in the fall seller update, then you're fine. But particularly clothing, the other categories with changes, if I remember correctly, it was toys, home and garden, but you'll see the full list. So then you'll know if you're in an impacted category, okay? So good news, bad news. Good news is you can take action, which is to start to edit your item specifics if you don't want to wait. If your sales are strong, I would just keep doing what you're doing, but I would kick up your social media because we are going into fourth quarter. And those free tips on my I Love to Be Selling website will help you. So get going with that because you're going to want all the traffic you can get. And if your sales are slow, is to be honest about what your sales history has been like for the past 4 or 5 months. And if it is just recent and you are, particularly because for a lot of the clothing sellers are impacted, I absolutely think it's worth it right now to start to take a look at editing and adding item specifics and do a chunk at a time. Do 10, 15, 20 at a time, but do get busy with social media. I learned my lesson back in 2014. This can be an eye opener for you. It is well worth 5 or 10 minutes a day. And yes, it is more work, but you know what? It's work. I was just at a conference and it was like business owners, small business owners, all different kinds of businesses, all different kinds, IT companies and consulting companies, all kinds of companies. A lot of them were multi-million-dollar sellers. Every single person that got up to talk and share about their business all had amazing obstacles to overcome to grow their business, all had issues. They had site issues, employee issues, inventory issues, legislation issues, all kinds of things. But the reason they are successful is because they pressed through and they found solutions. And that's what I encourage you to do. I know it's frustrating. I know it's like, but it's like, okay, this is what I can do. This is what will help me. This will get my sales back up. This will keep my sales strong. And that's what I want to offer you today. And I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling. Bye-bye, everybody.